Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Featherhoof.
And I'm Carnage Panda. I was brought here against my will, and that's the story, really.
Yep. I just snatched him off the streets just randomly and said, You will come to my place right now and talk to me about Marvel's Avengers Infinity War.
Please, if anybody is watching this video right now, I need help.
He is totally serious. Sydney would be here, but it's because she was with us when we went to go see it, but she's got work to do. Whatever. She's busy.
I'm pretty sure she said, quote, "Fuck you, I got stuff to do," and then split.
Yeah, pretty much. We're here today to talk about Marvel's Avengers Infinity War, which we just got back from seeing, 30 minutes ago? 45 minutes ago? And since the last movie talk, I think I've figured out how I'm going to structure this a little bit better. We're going to keep the first half of this spoiler-free, so those who don't want spoilers don't have to worry about it. And I'll give you a warning once we start heading into spoiler territory if you care about that. And you can just cut the video there if we're like, oh no, spoilers! So, just diving right on in. I gotta say, overall, I liked it, but I had some issues. How did you feel about the movie overall?
Yeah, I think I'll give it a 0 out of 10.
Ah, okay. Looks like we're on different ends of the scale here.
I'm just kidding, by the way.
So, tell me, have you read the comic series, the Gauntlet, Infinity Gauntlet, at all?
No, I've not really read it. I just skimmed over the cliff notes for it. You know, Thanos is not my favorite villain because this is basically just the comic storyline with some different sprinklings in it, but that's totally into the spoiler territory, which we'll get later.
Yeah, I'm in the same house. I didn't read the comics. But I also looked at it. I was like, Wikipedia, and just like sort of got the plot synopses. And so I kind of went into it sort of knowing what to expect. And
I mean, I did watch an animated version of the Infinity Gauntlet.
Did you?
Yeah, and it was like Iron Man and Thor and Captain America, Black Widow. I don't remember what it was called. Maybe it was like Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War or whatever, but I did not really like that one. And I've got to say, they did a lot better job here than they did in there, because basically in that animated film, Thanos is like, ha ha ha, I'm very strong. You can't stop me.
Like old okay. Bad anime dubbing?
No, I think it was a rather, recent version of it.
Huh. Well, the feel I got from the movie is like, I think that the directors really liked Naruto, because goddamn, the movie was everywhere. Like, now we're in space, now we're on Earth, now we're over on this planet, now we're over doing this thing, now we're over here, now we're back on Earth again, and now we're over there. It's like, I mean, like, 13 fights are happening all at the same time, continually, almost non-stop, for like small little breaks of what do you call it, exposition, and then back to some more fights.
I mean, you do have a point there. I felt like some plot that had to do with Thor needed completely cut out of the movie.
Yeah.
Even though, if you watch Game of Thrones, Peter Dinklage is in this movie.
Yes.
And I always love watching Peter Dinklage because he has that charisma about him.
Yes.
And he's really funny when he's on screen, but I feel like this entire section should not have even been in the movie.
I don't know. I mean, this may be insensitive. I don't care. I love that they took a man who was a dwarf, made him a dwarf in a
dwarf.
Yes, he's officially labeled like this place is what was the name of the place?
I don't know. It's probably one of those Norse things that you cannot pronounce unless you have a
Fnolfnir, and the place where Thor's hammer was made, and it's like this place is populated by dwarves, and who do we see? A 16-foot tall Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, so...
And I laughed my ass off. Which, actually, that's another thing about this movie. It's so weird. It's like I said, it's almost constant action, constant fighting. Something's always going on. But they constantly keep you laughing. Like, they have so many great jokes.
The Marvel writers, you know, they're really good about... I'm not sure if it's, like, somebody they just bring in to write the jokes that's just been there the whole time. But they really knock it out of the park when they're writing these jokes.
Well, I think they learned their lessons from Thor Ragnarok. Because Thor Ragnarok, it's like the producers are like, wow, Guardians of the Galaxy did really well because they were funny and didn't take themselves seriously. We're going to do that for Thor Ragnarok, and made a kind of subpar Marvel movie. But it's like they're like, oh, okay, I see where we made our mistakes with Thor Ragnarok, and they got it right this time. With, you know, it's just like, you know, it's not to say that there's not hard-hitting moments. There are some really sad moments, you know, some attempts at feels, but there are some. It's just like they're what would we call it, sparsely placed here and there between just moments of action and funny.
You know, the feels really did not get me. I felt like they were forced a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And they really could have spent a lot more time developing those parts, but for all the, you know, badass action scenes they had to put in there.
Yes.
To keep the audience entertained, because this is an Avengers movie. This is not Black Panther, which is probably, you know, in my opinion, second best Marvel film that they put out there after, you know, Winter Soldier.
I was just about to say, you better say Winter Soldier.
And now I think that Civil War out-edges Winter Soldier, in my opinion, but only slightly.
I think Winter Soldier out-edges Civil War. But,
what I'm trying to say, though, is that the feels just weren't there for me. I felt like they were just forced.
I kind of do, but, I mean, I felt for Star-Lord and Gamora, it's the...
It's like, the other one, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Outside of... You know, I feel for Star-Lord.
Oh, yeah, the other one. Which we'll get into in the spoilery section. But it's like, you know, they have Tony Stark and Pepper Potts, and they're like... You know, it's like they do this thing near the beginning where it's just sort of like... That's like, oh, okay, just to remind you that they're in a relationship. But it doesn't matter. He blows it off like he always does.
Yeah, he's like, oh, something's going wrong. I've got to go save the world. Or in this case, the universe.
But that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I was so excited. I think a lot of us were all super excited for this movie is because we finally get to see something of this grand a scale in the Marvel Universe. The thing that they've been setting up since the beginning is finally coming to fruition. Like, from the moment we saw that stinger at the end of Iron Man 10 years ago, where it's like, we're starting the Avengers initiative, when, you know, he slowly started bringing out each and every character for the Avengers, and you finally, at the end of Avengers 1, got our first glimpse of Thanos. And this is it. This is the culmination. And it's hard. I'm like I said, I like it. I really liked it. But it never lets you breathe. Ever. The whole movie.
Well, that's because they've got all these characters in there, and, you know, that's been a problem in a lot of comic book movies like Spider-Man 3, which just did not work. But
no.
I do not feel that this was bad like Spider-Man 3 was.
No.
We don't have any emo... whatever Peter Parker, you know.
Yeah, whatever that was supposed to be. Or fucking... You know, Foreman from that 70s show playing fucking Venom. What was that? But, you know, so... I mean, it's... I think we're both struggling to talk about it because we're trying to do it spoiler-free, because there's some problems with this movie, despite it being really, really good. If I were to say anything to anyone who's going to stop the video here because they don't want to get into spoiler territory, I think it's worth your time. I think it's worth... You know, your money to go see it. It was really good. If you've watched, been following Marvel up till now, there's really no reason not to go see it.
It was a really entertaining movie, you know.
Yeah. And if you've read the comic or you've read the synopses and you know kind of what to expect, you won't be disappointed. It's just it's interesting to see how they twist it to work within a 2.5-hour running time. So that's the end of the spoiler-free section. We're going to get right on into spoiler territory right now. Do sort of a abridged recap of the movie. Talk about specific scenes we think worked, didn't work, and we're going to start that right now. So basically, this movie picks up right where the end credit stinger of Thor Ragnarok ended. It sort of like just goes like whoop right past Black Panther. We're like it's like take that end scene from Thor Ragnarok, boom. We're just continuing right there, and it's just once again we're showing that like Thanos is the most unnecessarily overpowered son of a bitch in the Marvel universe. I mean,
he's really inconsistent though in this movie.
This is true because like he manhandles by himself manhandles Loki, Thor, and Hulk, and apparently like pre-scene he like it shows that he also him or his Blackguard like manhandled Heimdall too. So the four of them, as long as who knows how many other Asgardians, and it's just like at this point he's just the Power Stone. He has just the
Power Stone right now, and he's manhandling Thor, the Hulk, and whoever else. They're completely irrelevant in my mind, at least.
Yeah, this movie is a slasher flick. It is an absolute slasher flick. Thanos is fucking Jason Voorhees in so many,
I guess you could bring that. He's the supernatural evil that's trying.
He is. I mean, he fucking like in the first 5 minutes of the movie, he murders Heimdall, murders Loki. If it wasn't for Heimdall sending Hulk away, he would have murdered Hulk, and leaves Thor to die. It's like, wow.
Yeah, but he's just really inconsistent because, after Hulk goes down to Earth, because that's where Heimdall sends him.
Yeah.
And he crashes into Doctor Strange's place, which, Doctor Strange, for the uninitiated, is like the most powerful guy in the Avengers. I know people are going to be like, but I read all the comics and Thanos does a casual walkthrough of everybody every time. But, this Doctor Strange is just fighting demons and gods. And that's his, like, Sunday and Monday, Tuesday. It's just any day of the week for him. And Thanos is just the normal kind of... He is Thanos. It's just what it is. Thanos is just, like you said, he's the supernatural evil that just wipes everything out. And so he's at Doctor Strange's house. Iron Man enters the scene. And basically, you learn the first rule of this movie. If they say, "How long do we have?" it's going to happen right now. Yeah, it happens immediately after they're like, "How long do we have?" And
what's the
Bruce
timeline
Banner's
on
like,
that?
"Oh, we don't have much time." Boom, they're here.
So it's just like, boom, they're here. They're already fighting, and even the Blackguard, the two of the four Blackguard, just it doesn't problem. Like the movie never refers to them as the Blackguard. Or even says I think they say one of the characters' names later in the movie. Well, the Blackguards are just like this faceless entities in the movie. If you didn't read the comics, you have no idea who they are. And it's just like, okay, here's these weird four alien things for the Avengers to fight alongside, besides just Thanos. But don't get attached to them because we're not even going to bother giving them names.
You can't get attached to these guys. They're just almost mooks to Thanos, but
they're the goons.
A little higher. They're giving the Avengers a run for their money, and these are some really great action scenes, I thought.
Oh, they were.
I have criticized Marvel movies in the past because I was like, I've been expecting more of a brawl, and they didn't deliver in a lot of movies, but this one, I was really satisfied with the fight choreography and everything.
So, I mean, it's going to be hard to do a recap of this movie and talk about it because, like I said before, this movie jumps from place to place to place to place. I couldn't keep it straight in my head. Or at least well enough to be able to do it scene for scene. But it's like, you've seen the trailers, Thor meets up with the Guardians. Thor needs to go get Beta Ray Bill's hammer made for himself, Stormbreaker. So he goes off to find Peter Dinklage. The Guardians go off to nowhere where they meet up with Thanos, who has the Reality Stone now. Now he has power, He has space from Loki before he killed him. And now he has fucking reality from the Collector.
Yeah, so he has Reality Stone
And he does... God damn it. They basically play... the writers of this game, or this movie, played the game Marvel Superheroes. It was like the one where the special gimmick is you can choose an Infinity Stone. Because like he has all his powers from that game. He like his first thing he does with the Reality Stone is he turns shit into bubbles.
Yeah, but before he starts doing this stuff, they have the scene where they're going to ambush him.
Oh, yes.
And, of course, since he has the Reality Stone now, it's just all an illusion, but this is kind of where his inconsistencies start cropping up, because we just saw him foderize Thor and foderize the Hulk, and then he gets fodderized by Gamora.
Right, but then again, they prove that version that gets, destroyed by Gamora is an illusion, though.
But I think if it was not an illusion, that would have been the end of the movie right there. If like, oh, well, it's time to go home because Thanos just got shanked.
But what's even interesting is they actually do keep in some of his murders from the comics. They sort of kept in the movie, only they didn't do it to the same characters. Like the way that he kills Nova in the comics, where he turns them into blocks. He does that to fucking Drax, and it's actually very disturbing to watch, like in action.
Yeah, so this is actually really weird to me because
it turns Mantis into ribbons.
The reason that Thanos is gathering all the Infinity Stones is so that he can just kill off half the universe, and he's just fucking playing around with the Avengers most of the time.
And that's another change that, like, Thanos is like, he's all about like death. He's like, I'm doing this for death because I want to bone death. And this one is just like, I want balance in the universe. I am the most zen villain you'll ever meet. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so he turns Drax into blocks and Mantis into ribbons, and I was like, okay, if your whole shtick for this is that you want to kill people, why aren't you killing them?
Yeah, because like the moment he GTFOs with the stone, it's reversed. Drax comes back together, Mantis comes back together. It's like, well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, he gets in a fight with Star-Lord, and he's like, I like you.
Yes! That's his line before he can...
He, like, does a total grr to this guy, like, almost exact, He's, like, got the pizzas from Star-Lord, and he's like,
I like
you know what? I really like you, so I'm peacing out, and you know what? Bravo, man.
Yes. So, we got three fronts. We got Cap, Black Widow, Falcon, War Machine, meeting up with, saving Vision and Scarlet Witch from two of the other Blackguards. They go, they get their asses to Wakanda to try and like remove the mind gem from Vision, so that apparently Scarlet Witch has the power to destroy it.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch definitely got buffed in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, let's not.
When was the last time we saw her? Civil War.
Civil War, yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she couldn't even.
Way more powerful in this movie than
apparently
any other iterations.
Yeah, apparently she. Well, I mean, she couldn't.
Excluding the comics.
Yeah, okay.
The comics are totally excluded here because.
Yeah, she alters all of reality in the comics. I mean, she basically is like she's the twin sister of the fucking Reality Stone. But. These are the comics. In this movie, like in the Civil War, she couldn't even contain the blast of a bomb. This one, she has the power to destroy an Infinity Stone.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. So we find Vision and Scarlet Witch hanging out in Ireland or Scotland. Yeah, Scotland.
Again, just going in the middle of a scene, just going whoop. Oh, now we're in Scotland.
We're in another place of the world where you cannot pronounce the words, by the way, but. I really like this sequence because when Cap and everybody shows up, this feels like these are the goddamn heroes.
Yes. It's like the scene with Spider-Man and Iron Man and Doctor Strange was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it was far more cool watching these grounded superheroes who don't really have all the, suits and powers and everything, just beating the crap out of these two blackguards.
Yeah, there's this real contrast because you're looking at Tony Stark's Iron Man in this movie, which
The nano version.
He's gotten buffed as well.
Yes.
This is clearly the most powerful version of Tony Stark's Iron Man we have ever seen, and he's got Doctor Strange next to him, and I've already talked about how that guy is just ridiculous. And they're fighting... I found that villain to be interesting. He was like the most interesting out of them.
The one that they actually did give a name to, but I can't remember.
I can't remember his name either.
Yeah. The mouth or something like that? Or
the mouth.
It was something. It was like, he's like the something. It's like, so, because later in the movie, Thanos comes up, like, when he meets with Iron Man and Doctor Strange, they're like, so the is dead?
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, why do they have a name? Shit.
He's like, yeah, that guy had a name. But then you have the grounded superheroes, the Black Widow, Captain America. These guys don't really have these ridiculous superpowers. I mean, Captain America is obviously a super soldier. They got the super serum, and he could punch people 20 blocks away. But these guys are more grounded than guys that are tossing moons, and like the Scarlet Witch is just obliterating buildings and stuff. And the Vision is overpowered as well.
Well, you don't want to talk about Thanos being inconsistent. Scarlet Witch is inconsistent as shit. She has the power to destroy an Infinity Stone, yet those two, the female Blackguard and the Hobgoblin-looking one, was able to kick the shit out of her.
I wouldn't say that they were kicking the shit out of her. She was holding her own.
And she was able to be defensive, but she couldn't do jack the other way around.
She was probably worried about the Vision because he got shanked, and they were after the Infinity Stone, so she was playing defense. But then Captain America and everybody shows up, and you're like, okay, everything is going to be okay from this point forward because these guys are going to make sure everything is safe.
So, I mean, the whole movie is like they've got to rush to like show scene after scene after scene after scene of them like doing what they can to set up for the final battle. You know, Thor's off with Rocket Raccoon and Teenage Groot, which, by the way, Teenage Groot is now one of my favorite characters.
I'd have to say that Star-Lord is my favorite character, you know.
But
he's just so over-the-top offensive in this movie, and it's great.
So, like I said, Thor's getting Beta Ray Bill's hammer for himself, along with Peter Dinklage, whose character's name I can't remember, Teenage Groot, and Rocket Raccoon. Star-Lord, Drax, and Mantis meet up with Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange. And after the obligatory, oh, there was a misunderstanding, and they fought each other, scene. Then they come together to make a plan to fight Thanos, which actually was another one of my favorite scenes. Because, like, Mantis turns like, is he supposed to be doing that? And Doctor Strange is, like, having a seizure with the time stone out. And it's like, I was checking, just as if someone was checking their answering machine. I'm casually checking the future to see how this fight goes, how this fight pans out. It's like, well, how many futures did you check? It was like 1,600,800.
No, he said 14 million.
14 million.
Really,
14 plus million futures. Like,
he had he had a lot of time on his hands.
And he's like, how many do we win? Just one.
Those are pretty bad odds if you win 1 out of 14 million. Like, I don't have the statistics on me right now, but I think you might have better odds of winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Than, just beating Thanos. But I guess he went for the path that beats Thanos.
Well, they never said he didn't even say what that path was. That's the weird part. He's like, okay, here's what we did to get to that one path.
Well, see, he would have been metagaming at that part.
That's what Doctor Strange does. That's what in the comics they're like. Shit, we have. Let's get. The Illuminati gets together. Professor Xavier, Reed Richards, fucking T'Challa, and all these greatest minds in the universe get together. And go, shit. How are we gonna do this thing? I don't know. Call Doctor Strange, and he'll tell them what to fucking do. I think if I remember correctly, I might be wrong. Wasn't it Doctor Strange who even told Richards about the nullifier when they had to go up against the Galactus?
I don't remember.
I mean,
I might not have even read it either.
But anyway, so they're making their plans. They actually have, and this is the part that I like. I was talking about Thanos' powers. They actually have a fight with Thanos, and he just uses all of his powers for Marvel superheroes. He uses the fucking what was it? The space was it the Space Stone or the Power? Like a combination of the Space and Power Stone to just destroy chunks of this moon outside the planet they're standing on to just rain down as giant fucking meteors, which he does in the game. He turns shit into bubbles, which he loved throwing bubbles in the fucking game. He just had all his moves from that fucking game. They're like, oh man, what does Thanos do in fights besides punch shit?
Yeah, so this kind of indicates how, buffed Tony Stark has gotten over the years, because he's fighting this dude with 4 Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
Clearly an overpowered guy.
Yes.
And Stark's able to, at least put an effort in. And we've got Doctor Strange putting an effort in.
Oh, that's right. We just kind of sort of skipped over that part all entirely, how he got the 4th stone, the Soul Stone. They finally revealed the Soul Stone. The fucking Soul Stone, he goes to a planet, Gamora knows where it is and wanted to hide it, but by torturing Nebula, he found out that she knew about it. So he goes there, and they meet Red Skull. Red Skull, who disappeared at the end of Captain America.
Red Skull makes a reappearance.
Hugo Weaving finally comes back, and he's just like, I'm the Guardian of the Soul Stone now. A Nazi is the Guardian of the Soul Stone.
So the Red Skull kind of looks like one of the Dementors from Harry Potter.
He does!
And then he, you can see under his hood, and you're like, oh, that's the fucking Red Skull.
Yes! It's like, Thanos like, and he's like, then who are you? It's like, I'm the one who I'm the one who's cursed to know all. And it pans over a little bit. It's like, fucking Red Skull? What? And the Soul Stone apparently is just sort of, hey, come here and kill the person you love most, and the Soul Stone's yours. So he pushes Gamora off the cliff. And this is what he was talking about, the forced feel scenes. He starts to cry before he does it. And it's like, Gamora's like, oh, you fucking pansy. See, you get what you want. He's like, and Skull has possibly one of the best lines. He's like, he's not crying for himself.
But I feel like this scene would have been 1,000% improved if Star-Lord was there.
Possibly.
Because he lays down some of the most merciless troll lines ever in this movie to Thanos.
He does. He referred to his chin as a ball sack. I loved it.
He's like, I'm gonna wipe out your ball sack chin.
So he literally just chucks Gamora off the cliff, and the Soul Stone goes, you know what? A soul for a stone. I'm yours now. And it's
so I was totally not hitting the feels by this scene because...
But it's like you can tell they were trying to. Because he's like, oh, I have to kill my favorite daughter. It's like, you've mercilessly killed... Let's see, in this movie, we've watched you kill how many major characters so far? Why the fuck do I care if you're sad?
It just really rings hollow for me.
It does. And during the fight that we're gonna right back into it with Iron Man and all of them, he fucking reveals that he killed Gamora, and then they try to make you feel bad for Thanos because Mantis is holding his head to read his emotions. He's mourning, he's sad. It's like, so what?
Yeah, this scene's I really love Star-Lord, but he was just a fucking idiot here.
He was a fucking...
He could have just kept taunting him, and they could have got the glove from him and everything, because...
All they had to do was get the glove off. That's all they had to fucking do. And Mantis was doing her sleep thing, or trying to. And he starts punching him in the face! No one's going to be able to fall asleep if they're being punched in the face!
Yeah, so he is completely triggered by Thanos killing Gamora, and
or learning
everything up, and so then we have, I actually kind of want to go back and comment about Spider-Man here, because I feel like he's, outside of Star-Lord being a great troll, Spider-Man is a great troll as well.
But the thing is, Spider-Man is a troll on the audience. Because he is there to make fun of all of us who are older, who read the comics, who know a lot of older pop culture. He's there to refer to it as old 3 or 4 times.
I don't care. He's great. He's doing his magic tricks and just totally wins the show, which makes me sad that I've not seen Spider-Man yet.
I loved him in his Iron Spider outfit, though. His Iron Spider armor was badass. I loved the Iron Spider armor. It was rocking.
But anyway, Peter fucks everything up because he got triggered and...
Well, Peter Quill, not Peter Parker.
Well, yeah, Peter Quill, Star-Lord.
Yes.
he was really mad that he killed Gamora, that Thanos killed Gamora.
I mean, literally, Spider-Man is holding on to the rim of the fucking glove. The glove is at Thanos' fingertips. And Star-Lord wakes his ass up because he's that triggered.
Like, he could have, you know, they were basically on the cusp of winning, and he snatched defeat from the jaws of victory there.
Yes.
Like, if you wanted Thanos to suffer, you should have just let them get the glove off, and then, you know, you could have wiped him out of existence.
Yep. But instead, and so Thanos proceeds to lay the royal smackdown. He uses the gauntlets, the stones, to the point where only Iron Man stands, between him. He damn near kills Iron Man, and before he laying down the final blow, just gives Strange. Which Strange had a great fight against him.
No, this whole sequence was great, you know.
But I mean, like, specifically, like showing Strange just like going out with all this magic and abilities.
Yeah. Fucking four Infinity Stone Thanos is getting stonewalled by Doctor Strange here.
Yes. And but eventually Thanos wins because plot. And Strange, in order to save Iron Man's life, gives him the stone. He has 5 stones and he GTFOs.
He's like, yeah, I'm done here. Which, why? If your goal is to kill half the people in the universe, you're just gonna let them live?
Because there's no way for them off. He knows there's no way for them off that planet. They are stuck there, and he knows that. He has no reason to do anything to them after he's gotten what he needed. Because that is so weird about Thanos. Like in the comics, it's like people would fight him, and he would just kill them in these awful ways. Like Wolverine stabs him in the back, and he just goes and turns his skeleton into sponge. Like I said, Nova, he turns him into building blocks. You know, it's just like, and just like this one, he's just sort of like, if I don't need to kill you, I won't. But I will just, but he'll kill to, like, send messages, or it's just like when he killed Loki and just like left him in front of Thor's face. He's like, here, look at that for the rest of your short existence.
Loki is like the only guy he actually killed, though. He might have killed somebody else, but...
Well, he kills Vision.
Well...
I know we haven't got there, but he...
But Loki was the only guy he killed before Vision.
Hold on, I'm going through my head. No, he killed Collector.
No, he might not have killed the Collector.
No, he straight up killed the Collector. He killed everyone on Nowhere.
I don't know about that. If you do not see the body...
Dude, they went to Nowhere, and their instruments specifically showed that there was no life signs.
I don't know, man. He was using the Reality Stone, so...
Yeah, but the Reality Stone, when he stopped using the Reality Stone, because Nowhere looked normal, and then when he stopped using Reality Stone, it showed that everything was on fire, everything was destroyed.
Okay, bro, if there's a special scene on the DVD and Blu-ray that shows the Collector crawling out from under there, I'm gonna laugh at you.
Fine, you can laugh at me. Oh no, he killed Heimdall too.
Oh yeah, he killed Heimdall.
Yeah.
Okay, so he kills 2 Norse gods.
But yeah, I will bet you dimes to donuts he murdered everyone on Nowhere. I will bet you dimes to donuts that he murdered everyone on Nowhere. Because his black art was on Earth trying to get the Mind and Time Stones.
I don't know, man. If you don't see the bodies, I'm going with that.
So I'm telling you, he has a body count of thousands. We've only seen him kill, like, the major characters, though. So, meanwhile, back on Earth, he GTFOs, and meanwhile, Earth's like, everyone's at Wakanda. They get ready for the big battle you see on the trailer. And they have the big battle. Like, Hulk is like... I'm actually kind of pissed at this movie for this reason. Hulk is MIA. After the first 5 minutes of the movie, it's all Bruce Banner.
Yeah, so the Hulk doesn't come out because I guess our theory right now is that he got punched too hard.
Yeah, his ego was bruised because he got beat down by Thanos.
Yeah, he got punched so hard that he's just like, yep, fuck that.
Yeah, because twice Banner tries to go Hulk, and half his head goes Hulk, and Hulk just screams, "No!" And then goes back into a sulking corner inside.
Yeah, so this is a disappointing moment because all we get is Bruce Banner inside the Hulkbuster.
Yeah, which is like not nearly as cool or as powerful. He has a decent moment in it. He actually does defeat a bad guy in it, but it's not nearly as fun as...
would have probably been 10 billion times cooler because as average as I think Thor Ragnarok was,
Yeah.
the Hulk fighting the fucking wolf was like the pinnacle of awesome.
I will agree with that.
Suplexes this wolf. I was like, I'm sold, man.
So, every superhero's there. Eventually, Thor and Rocket and Groot show up because they use Thor's... Because Thor's new Stormbreaker apparently also has the powers of the Bifrost Bridge, as well as Thor's powers for some reason.
So Peter Dinklage is like, theoretically it has the power of the Bifrost, so naturally it has the power of the Bifrost.
Yes. So he shows up and, like, turns the tide. They... Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, and... I don't know her name, T'Challa's right-hand woman.
I can't remember her name.
Like, they just, like, beat the crap out of the one female, Blackguard. It's just, like, Black Widow, basically. I'd have, like, Scarlet Witch, like, just...
Honestly, here, that we could have seen just a 1v1 between Black Widow and this chick.
That would have been neat.
This would have been, because...
Well, the thing is, though, she towered over her by, like, 2 times.
I don't care. She was going in, man.
Yeah, but I think it's because Black Widow and the other chick, the black chick whose name I can't remember, were, like, tag teaming her.
Yeah, so you have this 2v1 with Black Widow and his general, Black Panther's general.
Yeah.
And they're both fighting her, and she's holding up against these two, and then she gets fodderized by the Scarlet Witch.
Yes, Scarlet Witch basically picks her up with her magic and puts her in front of a meat grinder and murders her.
And the Black Widow is like, yeah, that was gross.
Yeah, that was a good line. I love that. So, basically, it looks like they're winning. They're pushing back. They defeat all the Blackguard. The Blackguard are dead. Like, you know, Vision kills the dude who stabbed him. Fucking, you know, Scarlet Witch killed that one chick. The one that had the cool powers. You know, he died earlier in the movie, and the big, huge hulking one gets killed by Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster armor.
He doesn't get killed by the Hulkbuster. He gets killed by the Hulkbuster's arm.
Yes, the Hulkbuster's arm explodes and kills him. So, it's like, yay, we win! And it's like, enter Thanos. And it's just this drawn-out scene, all in slow motion, for about 5 minutes, of Scarlet Witch trying to destroy Vision and the Mind Gem in slow motion, while Thanos, in slow motion, one by one, lays out every character in the movie.
Yeah, so there's no Doctor Strange or, you know, Iron Man.
These are all the Earth level, you know, ground level superheroes
against this guy. So we've got more grounded superheroes who he's just casually walking through. They can't do anything to him. The only ones there that would possibly stand up are I'm dying right now, Vision, and the Scarlet Witch, who...
She's so mentally distraught she has no, like, proper control over her powers. So, she, like... And it's like you see it coming a mile away. Because what was the last stone that Thanos just got? So, Scarlet Witch is successful. She blows up the Mind Stone, which... Son of a bitch, she's all of a sudden powerful enough to destroy an Infinity Stone. And Thanos is like, man, that sucks, doesn't it?
He's like, yeah. Damn, that really sucks.
He trolls her. He fucking trolls Scarlet Witch. He's like, you know, I've lost more this day than I could possibly... Remember, feel bad for me because I had to kill my adopted daughter.
Yeah, I feel really bad. I killed half of her people and I had to kill her to get this stone because...
Sucks to be me.
That really hit me right here.
Can't you feel? Oh, man. Oh, and you lost your robot boyfriend. I know what you're going through.
That's very terrible. That's very sad.
Yeah, you know, my plans are thwarted now, aren't they? Damn. Oh, wait. I'm Thanos, the most OP son of a bitch in the fucking Marvel Universe. Time Stone! Reverses fucking time, brings Vision back, just so he can murder him himself and take the fucking Mind Stone.
Yeah, so basically he's like, you kill-stealing bitch, let me fix that.
You stole my kill, you bitch! That was mine! I wanted the XP from that! I can't loot his corpse if you killed it!
Yeah, so he kills the Vision and loots him of the Mind Stone, and now he has all the stones, and
before he's able to do anything, suddenly Stormbreaker in his chest.
Suddenly his inconsistencies are showing. He gets a Stormbreaker in his chest, and Thor's like, ha 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 ha, fuck you.
And it's like he's like trying to say his final words as Thor's he grabs the hammer part and shoves the axe part in his chest.
Are you in enough pain? I need to put you in some more pain.
And he's just like, he's trying to say his final words, and Thor's like, oh, what's that? What's that?
Like, what's
what?
That, man?
And it's like, you should have aimed for the head. And takes his Infinity Gauntlet and boom. And snaps his fingers and wipes out half of everything. Where we have a scene which I'm speculating was inside the Soul Stone.
Yeah, it had to been inside the Soul Stone if he was talking to Gamora.
Yeah, because the whole world is orange, just like the Soul Stone, and he's talking to Gamora, but who's in child form. It's like, did you do it? I did it.
What did you have to sacrifice?
Everything. Do you feel bad for me yet? Do you feel bad for me yet?
I just don't know what I feel, man. I really...
They really try to make you feel bad for Thanos! Why? But, it's...
So...
Then we pan back out.
I think... I'm gonna interject this because I've watched Black Panther, and you have not.
This is true.
And outside of Killmonger having a hilarious name, he
true.
was the best villain they've put into any of their movies.
That's what I've heard.
So, I think they were just trying to put Thanos up to that level.
But they didn't.
But you can't.
No.
You can't. You know, Killmonger actually has, you know, reasons behind his motives and everything, you know. Really well explained. And you could be like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
But Thanos is just like...
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel bad for you for killing your daughter.
Yeah.
That you, I guess, loved?
Yeah, I love it. It's like he even tries to explain his motivations. He's like, my planet suffering from what all planets eventually do, overpopulation. The universe is finite, there's finite resources, and I gave the only logical way out. At lottery, murder half of our people. And they called me mad! It's like, and what happened? They wiped themselves to extinction anyway because they didn't do what I suggested. It's like,
okay, Thanos, okay.
Yeah, that's supposed to engender us to you? What? So, that's, you know, so they did a bad job of trying to make us care for Thanos. So, and again, even in the Soul Stone, he's talking with Kid Gamora. It's like, again, no, I don't feel anything for you. There's nothing here to feel for.
I think maybe if they had done more building on him in, like, Guardians of the Galaxy or something.
Maybe.
Other than telling, you know, Ronan the Accuser that he needs to watch his mouth.
Yeah.
That maybe people, at least me, I would have felt something, but...
Yeah.
You can't just go back and be like, right in the middle of it, oh, you need to feel for this guy.
Yeah. So he snaps his fingers, he gets out of the Soul Stone, and he's still alive! He's still somehow fucking alive with Stormbreaker halfway through his body! He uses the Space Stone to GTFO, and Stormbreaker falls to the ground, and they're like, what just happened?
Thor's like, what'd he do, man? What'd he do?
And one by one, we're not gonna say who goes, but one by one, people start evaporating into dust. And it's just sort of like, is at random. And it's...
Well, it's not at random, but I'm not gonna spoil it because...
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be at random, you know...
It's supposed to be at random, but they clearly did not randomize it.
No. And the movie ends with Thanos sitting in a wood gazebo, in the middle of the mountains, watching the sunrise, with this big old smile on his face.
This was Thanos' ultimate goal. Not world domination. Nope. Just killing half the people off.
In the universe.
So that he could stare at the sunrise.
And wait for people... What was it? It was like, he's like, and wait for people to thank him or something like that?
Yeah,
it's
thank
like...
you, Thanos.
It's like, what? And then it just goes... And then a really long end credits happens.
Yeah, I think they employed the entire state of California to do this movie.
They had to have. Because I think if you look through the credits and then go through a California phone book, I'm sure you'll find every name.
Because we were waiting for the end credit stinger, because every Marvel movie has, at least one.
Yes.
There's only one in this movie. You have to wait till the end of the credits.
Yes.
All of them.
Yep.
To see it.
And it finally gives the one character we want to see, the badass Samuel L. Jackson. And it's, without going into it, let's not even go into it, but basically what it stings is, what's the word I'm looking for?
What it alludes to is that there's going to be a Captain Marvel movie.
Yeah. So, it's just an allusion to Captain Marvel. Which actually, I think was kind of badass the way they did it. So, I'm kind of curious. I can't wait to see that. I think of the upcoming ones between Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel, I think I'm more interested in Captain Marvel, to be perfectly honest.
But doesn't that come out next year?
No, I thought that was later this year. I thought it was this
I think we will have to
winter.
Look up some release dates.
Okay, so doing some research, they're actually doing 3 new MCU movies. They're doing a Spider-Verse movie, they're doing Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Captain Marvel before Avengers 4. So it looks like, looking into it, Spider-Verse actually stars Miles Morales. They're doing a Spider-Verse thing. How that's going to work into the MCU, don't know. Captain Marvel is supposed to be a prequel to it all. It's supposed to be like 1990.
Yeah, so I've read that it's going to be set in the 90s, so...
And Ant-Man and the Wasp, I don't know if it's pre or post, so we'll see how that works out. And just because this as always runs long as we always seem to. For those who were wondering and haven't seen the movie yet, yes, Hawkeye is not in it. Neither is Ant-Man. They basically do this one line. It's like, hey, where's Clint and Scott? Oh, they figure that their superheroing interfered with their family lives, and they decided to quit and be family men.
Hawkeye didn't get any screen time,
nope.
so...
Neither did
What they reported is that the Avengers that they did not have a big role in this one will have bigger roles in the next one.
Well, if they weren't included in the half that went bye-bye.
Well, I think it's going to be some time travel garbage,
Yeah. So, basically, we're going to end this here. That was our talk on Infinity War. I liked it. I really did. Like I said, though, it was funny. It was action-packed. It felt like a Naruto.
Yeah, this is a really fun...
It's like, there's comedy, there's action, it goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. It's like if this was a fucking Naruto manga, it'd be like the Ninja War arc, where it's just like, never stops, but every once in a while...
better Ninja War arc.
Yeah, probably. But it's just like, every once in a while we're gonna let you breathe for about 5 seconds to give you some exposition, but then back to the fighting. But it totally falls flat on any semblance of feeling for anything. Even when you see who's picked for the ones who get, vaporized, you don't feel anything. You don't feel anything for Thanos. And the Thanos cries. He actually cries with tears. You don't care.
Star-Lord should have seen him crying.
And then Star-Lord's anguish over the death of Gamora, it still felt forced. The whole thing felt forced. So, that's what I think about it. It's like, Thanos' powers, like Thanos himself, was inconsistent.
Very inconsistent.
We don't care about how sad he is. They never gave us a reason to feel for him being sad.
And he's not sad at the end of the movie anyway.
Nope. And it just, it never gives you a chance to breathe. But overall, it was a fun summer action blockbuster film. Any closing thoughts from your end?
Well, not really. I don't have anything else to add.
Alright, well guys, that's the end of this. I thought I had structured it better so that it wouldn't be so long, but it turned out longer than the last one. We're going to keep figuring this out as we go do more movie talks and we see more movies.
We'll keep making them longer.
Then by the end, we'll have a 4-hour long one. But there was
why did we just go watch the movie instead of listening to these guys?
So, if you had a chance, go see it. It's worth your time. If you like the other Marvel movies, I think it's in the upper echelons of Marvel movies. I don't think it's the best, but it was still really, really good.
Yeah, I don't think it was the best. still my top 3: Winter Soldier,
Civil
Civil
War.
War, and Black Panther. Those are certified platinum. Easily.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
This is somewhere under it, but above Dark World.
Yeah, because Thor Dark World, I think, is like the bottom rung of Marvel movies.
It definitely is.
It's the bottom rung. So anyway, guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for listening to our ramblings and semi-coherent thoughts. And if you enjoyed it, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, share it, or you can click on the annotations for other videos we've done. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all next time.